One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
I want you to know, Peter, when I have these discussions, whether it's Brian Kilmeade or Fox News on Sunday, I'm not patronizing you. But I think about you because that's how much I respect your foreign policy, your international intelligence. When it comes to all these issues, we had a big fight one time about Ukraine and Russia. But the truth is, at least on my program, you know as much, if not more, than anyone. And you've heard me for a while now being pretty critical of the man I love, maybe more than anybody, President Trump, because whether it's Iran, how he deals with Israel, how he deals with Bibi, I don't love what I'm seeing. And I got people at the station telling me, I said, you don't get it. I think I do get it. Peter King, what do you think?
Well, first of all, let me wish my son Sean a happy birthday. He's a great guy, great son.
I love your kid, Sean. I love him, and he loves the same musical groups that me and Lewis love. We love that about Sean.
And he also loves the Philadelphia Flyers, so there's something wrong there, but what can I tell you? Anyway, as far as President Trump, I think there are some basic overall problems with his approach to foreign policy. It's not a real estate deal. These issues are complicated. And when you're dealing with Iran, you can't expect to go in and win a war overnight. There's no such thing as an easy war. That's certainly the case when you're facing a country of 90 million people and it's ruled by fanatics. This isn't like Venezuela, where you have a few gangsters at the top, and if you remove them, the problem is removed. This is an embedded issue that's been there for decades, in some cases centuries. And I think if you're going to do that, you have to, first of all, get the American people on your side. By the way, I fully support it, going after Iran. Don't get me wrong. But if you're going to do that, I think you should put more effort into getting Congress on his side. Tell the American people this is not going to be easy. Don't say because the stock market's doing well or the 401ks are doing well that it's going to go well. It's not. The average person out there is hurting. And I think the people should be more supportive of the war. But I understand why they're not, because the president didn't mobilize them, didn't tell them that sacrifices may be needed. Also, allies can drive you crazy, so-called allies, including NATO. But you have to find a way early on to at least get them on your side partially. For instance, he went into the war in Iran without even telling anyone in NATO about it. And then we could have used their minesweepers. We could have used that. And Reagan had trouble even with Thatcher. But somehow a leader has to get as much behind him and then go forward. I'm not saying give up your principles. So it's a complicated world. Also, I don't know what Witkoff is doing in Ukraine, what he's doing in the Middle East. They have no concept of the historical event. He's not Henry Kissinger. He's not. We need people in there who are in this for the long haul and are going to tell the American people this could be tough, but it's worth it. Here's why. I think it's absolutely essential that we take away Iran's nuclear weapons. But then when things aren't going well, be honest with the American people. Otherwise, people start to lose faith and the whole war effort can go down. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. But overall, Donald Trump has done a great job. But it certainly what he did last summer going into Iran, that was brilliant. Venezuela, brilliant. The pressure on Cuba really makes a lot of sense. But you can't cut off all your allies, as difficult as they can be to deal with. Find ways to use pressure to get them on your side, because there are times when you need them. We need them now in the Middle East. And how? We went into that war without knowing the only real weapon that Iran has is the Strait of Hormuz. And we've given it to them. And now they can do that whenever they want.
Yep,
I mean,
they could.
Yep. And that's the problem. And to keep saying that we're bombing them, that they don't really care that much unless we go all out.
Right.
And also we gotta reclaim the straits. If you have to use NATO to do it, use ourselves. We can't allow these fanatical mullahs to be controlling the world's economy.
And, Pete, it could be both. I mean, look, I am here to say that President Trump, I still believe, is the best president ever. I know you people think I'm crazy. Abe Lincoln and Ronald Reagan and Democrats, they hear that. They think I belong in an insane asylum, and maybe I do. But I really do believe that. But it could be both. He could be the greatest ever. And at the same time, not doing a great job, especially like you just talked about, communicating when it comes to the Iran war. Finish the damn job. If you're going to start it, finish it. Stop telling me about economic indicators. Finish the damn job. It could be both. He could still be great, but not hitting a home run with this effort, right?
Yes, and also you have to stand with your allies. We have never had a better ally than Israel or Bibi Netanyahu. And now when things start to go south a bit, now he's taking shots at Netanyahu. Well, he's still saying good things about Mandami, still saying good things about Putin, still saying good things about Xi. And yet the one ally we've had, no matter what, with thick and thin, is Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. And actually all the leaders in Israel, but especially Netanyahu. And they are really the only country in the Middle East we can truly count on. And when other countries in there, those Arab states, if they see us backing away from Israel, they'll go, God, if he's backing away from Israel, is he really going to stick with Qatar? Is he really going to stick with the UAE? Is he really going to stick with the Saudis? Now, I have no great regard to any of those countries, but yet the only way you're going to keep them on your side and have them available in time of need is if they see that you're loyal to your allies and you're probably loyal to them, and so you do it by fear, intimidation, or whatever. But if they see us backing away from Israel, or even after he meets with Xi, he starts walking away from Taiwan. You can't be giving up your allies. You have to stand firm. That's what Reagan did. That's in many ways what Roosevelt did. We can go down the whole list. But you have to show that you believe in something and you believe in allies. And no matter what happens in the Middle East, we're going to stand with Israel. Not saying have Syria take on Hezbollah.
Come on,
that's insanity.
Ridiculous. Syria's got no army. So what do you think about Russia and Ukraine? I don't know, Pete. I feel like in 5 years we'll be having the same conversation. Are you surprised that it's gone on this long?
I'm surprised. I really, again, this is where we've disagreed. I think that Ukraine has made a valiant effort. I mean, nobody ever would have thought.
We don't disagree. No. We don't disagree. They made a valiant effort. They have embarrassed. They've embarrassed Putin. All I've said all along is they can't win because of attrition, because the Russians have more people, more weaponry, and more money. So eventually, whether it's a year, 5 years, or 10 years, the Russians may suffer a ton of casualties, and they are, and Ukraine may put up an incredible fight, and they are, but there's no realistic path to Ukrainian win, is all I've said.
Well, there is. If the United States and Europe sticks with Ukraine, I think they can force Russia into submission. Not that they're going to be defeated per se, but they will make a deal which is in everyone's benefit, especially Ukraine. You can't expect Ukraine. Remember, this goes back centuries. That's what I'm saying. There's a history to all these things. There's no way the Ukrainian people, after all this, are going to make these great concessions to Russia, which will just mean that Russia is going to take over the country. That's why when they had that explosion in the Oval Office, when Zelensky said to J.D. Vance, who I'm not crazy about, that, we have to have some security forces to guarantee that if there is an agreement, Russia's not going to violate it. And of course, Vance went crazy yelling at Zelensky. The fact is that Ukraine, whether it's Ukraine, any of these countries, not any of them, many of them, they have long histories. And if Russia does win and does ultimately take over Ukraine, then they're going to have influence in Poland. They're going to have influence in countries like France and Germany and others are going to steer their economies more toward Russia. So I think if Ukraine is willing to fight, it's not for us to tell them that they can't fight, since they're fighting for the same cause we're fighting for.
Yeah, it's true. Well, let's get to New York City. First of all, what a terrible story in your county about this guy. This is terrible. He met his wife and his sister-in-law on the same day. I think it was back in 2016. And according to reports, he married the sister, but he always had this really odd fascination with the sister-in-law. And it turns out that he calls her. He says, listen, I need help moving a piano. She comes over. He comes up from behind her. He attacks her. He rapes her. I think he raped her when she was alive and dead. Strangles her to death. I mean, look, you guys are the safest county in the world, thanks to people like you and Cairo and Bruce and Ryder and Ann Donnelly, all those great people. But you've got some of the weirdest and nastiest crimes. This is a horrible story.
It's absolutely horrible. My understanding is that after he completed all this horror, he calmly called the police and basically
turned himself in. He did, yeah. Yeah.
Very calmly, though. Listen, all I can say is I don't know if you can describe that to Nassau County or just to always going to be some wackos in human nature, but I have to now make a concession to you. He only lives about a mile or so away from the Gilgo murderer, so I don't know. There's something in the water out there.
Wait, so
I don't know.
He's in Massapequa too?
Yeah, actually North Massapequa. Yeah.
Oh my God! So you got the Gilgo killer, you've got this maniac, and Brian Kilmeade.
Right, and they're both constituents of mine. Right, and of the three, to me, Brian Kilmeade is the most dangerous person in that whole area. But.
Oh, my God. How is my girl Janine Driscoll doing?
She's doing fine. I mean, she's really doing well. She had a big fundraiser last night. She's really, listen, she's working hard. And that race is one which I think is going to be under the radar for a while. But I expect Janine to win. She's what everyone wants in a candidate. She's honest. She's hardworking. She's from the neighborhood. She's a regular, and yet extremely intelligent. She's a big lawyer. She's argued cases before the United States Court of Appeals. She's an elected official, been elected twice as receiver of taxes. And, people say receiver of taxes, what's the big deal? That's what Al D'Amato was. That's how he started his career as receiver of taxes. Don Clavin, who became the supervisor later, he was a receiver of taxes. And so that's a key position. You're dealing with people all the time. You have your finger on the pulse. She's got a great family. He's a son of the NYPD. And I told you, the only negative mark is one of his sons, who was a football player, broke Joe Cairo's collarbone or something when Joe was reffing a game.
No kidding.
And they collided, yeah. And Joe didn't know that. When Janine was nominated, Joe didn't know, but he didn't find out until later on. That was her son to put him in the hospital.
Oh, that's funny. And the other guy, Mike LaPetri, was in these studios just 2 days ago, Monday morning, my first day back. LaPetri was here, and he only lost by 3 points last time to Tom Swazi. So there's reason to believe that he'll do even better this time. And if he does, he's going to win.
Yeah, Michael Petrie, that was the race 2 years ago. For the most part, we overlooked it. We were really focusing on Anthony D'Esposito. That was all the effort. And Mike was looked upon just as a guy who was almost like filling in, making the race. And then on election night, God, he was, 2.5 points or 3 points he lost by. So, no, the feeling is that with a concerted effort, and he's a hard worker. He's everywhere. He's all over the place. And he got a lot of help from Vicky Palladino in Queens. And, of course, Joe Cairo carried it in Nassau County. So Jesse Garcia in Suffolk. But Mike does it. He's a hard worker. He's out there. And I think he's going to win. I certainly think Janine is going to win. And Bruce is going to run extremely well on Long Island. I've seen polls where he's doing exceptionally well on Long Island. And he's going to, I still believe strongly, Bruce is going to be our next governor. But I just wish Republicans would stop saying he should be doing this, he should be doing that. Believe me, he's doing everything. He's working at it. And we don't need the naysayers making excuses. He's right now closer to Hochul and Lee Zeldin was 4 years ago. And Lee only lost by 6 points. Bruce can make that up. I think not easily, but he can certainly make it up. At this stage against Laura Curran, who was a very popular county executive, he was further behind than he is now. So he's going everywhere, and he's building up support, and he's running really, in many ways, a different type campaign. He's appealing to all different groups and organizations. He's in every community. You follow him on Facebook. He's in every upstate county. He's all over New York City. Joe Cairo convened a meeting last week. We had all of the local Republican elected officials and leaders, community leaders in the room. Bruce has the support. He's going to do it. And I think all of us, hopefully, when Bruce becomes governor, he'll invite us to the inaugural ball.
Yes.
He won't forget about us, He won't say, Sid who?
Not Bruce. And I agree with you. I get that, too, from Republicans. They're like, well, he's not in Utica enough. He's not in Syracuse enough. Shut up. He's in those places all the time. You're clearly not following what he does on a daily basis. He's actually done an amazing job, still doing a great job as a Nassau County executive,
Absolutely.
Right? And also campaigning for governor, but of course he is set up to succeed with people like you and Joe and all the fine folks in Nassau County around him. As always, Pete King, amazing job. I love you. Thank you so much.
Okay, you got it. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Peter, and happy birthday to Sean, your son. He's a great kid. We love him here, too, so
okay.
Thank you, buddy. Pete King right there. Happy birthday to Sean King, who's a great kid, his son.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms.
Plus, follow WABC on social, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?